Alright. I'm going to do a little best ball fast draft here. Sorry, get my camera moved a bit. Put on my Marcus Colston Katrina year jersey. A lot of times this freezes. You have to reload right when the draft starts. Looks like we got pick 1-6. Sorry about that. This app is not the greatest. Travis Kelce at the 1-5. That's crazy. So we're going to take Melvin Gordon here at the 1-6. We'll definitely have the camera set up better for the next time we do this. Alright, so in best ball, one of the things that's a lot more important is keeping your bye weeks staggered. And on this draft app right now, as you can see, if you look at your roster grid on desktop, it does not show you the bye weeks, which is super annoying. So I actually have to grab a pen and paper. Super old school. Keep track of my bye weeks on here. So Travis Kelce going pick 5 is legitimately crazy. I have definitely drafted a ton of Travis Kelce in round 1. I actually have about between 15 and 20% ownership on Travis Kelce because I'm taking him at pick 1-9, 1-10, 1-11, 1-12 a lot. Just because in best ball, getting that position scarcity matters a ton. And like, often I don't really care about the pick in pick 2, meaning that like the guy that I pick in round 2 isn't that dissimilar to the guy I would have picked at 1-9 in round 1. So I treat Kelce as kind of like my second round pick. And my second round pick is my first round pick. No Gurley off the board. I see people are starting to pick up on that more and more. Gurley is a guy that I have one share of in 60-something drafts because it auto-picked once when I wasn't paying attention. Other than that, I would have 0% Gurley. I'm all over Darrell Henderson. I'm grabbing up enough Malcolm Brown that if he ends up being the guy, things will still go well for me. But my Darrell Henderson percentage is going to be around 50. My Malcolm Brown, I want to be about 15, maybe 10%. Anywhere in that range I'm comfortable with. Wow. This is the latest I've seen Gurley pick so far is 2-5. So let's see if he makes it through 2 more picks. If we're wondering if I'm going to take him if he's still there when I pick, I will not be. I have Todd Gurley ranked as a 4th round pick based on his injury history. Until the 4th round, I just cannot do it. But the problem is what's wrong with his knee has not been fixed in any way. They're only doing things to treat it, to stop the inflammation. They're not doing anything to fix the actual problem. There he goes at 2-4. So he could be 100% going into the season, right? He could still look like Todd Gurley for 3 weeks. We're definitely taking Odell Beckham or Juju Smith-Schuster, whichever one falls to us here. Easy pick for me here. So we'll be taking Juju Smith-Schuster. This is a very common start for me. I end up with pick 6 a lot. And I'm usually going Melvin Gordon or David Johnson, and then Juju. I might even have to start taking Mike Evans a bit there. I have taken Nick Chubb in that spot a couple times, but I'm starting to get too much Juju. I think I'm closing in on 20% Juju. So I'm surprised Kittle went so early and that Zach Ertz was still on the board. These tight ends, shit's crazy with them. I do not think that Ertz or Kittle should be going as high as they are. They don't offer you that huge difference that Kelce does. They do offer you the safety, which is why they're going as high as they are, but they don't offer you that huge gap. Players I'm going to be looking at in the third round here. Obviously, I would take Ertz if he somehow lasted, but I don't think that will happen. I'm not too high on Devonta Freeman. Damian Williams, I'm like medium on. I would probably take T.Y. Hilton. I like Amari Cooper a lot. I'd consider Josh Jacobs. Definitely would consider Damian Williams at my pick. I just wouldn't be happy about it. I have decent percentage of Damian Williams too. Something like 12 to 15%. Guys I have real low percentages on, so you might see me take them even though I don't have them as high on my draft board, are Derrick Henry and Leonard Fournette. Actually, Keenan Allen as well. Kerryon Johnson at the 3-3. That guy just paid for the ceiling. Kerryon Johnson's a guy I definitely like the ceiling on, but I don't think his path to getting there is that easy. I think the Lions are one of the teams that runs less plays. C.J. Anderson, if he's like 100% healthy, is going to be a pain in the ass, especially in the red zone. By healthy, I mean in shape and not a fat piece of shit. So, Derrick Henry or Leonard Fournette, Cooper. I have so much more Josh Jacobs than I do Henry or Fournette that I'm going to pick Henry or Fournette. I think I'm just going to go with Henry based on the being a little less injuries. If this is your first team, I would be taking Damian Williams there. But, like I said, my Damian Williams percentage is very high, and my Derrick Henry and Leonard Fournette percentages are very low. Guy after me is Josh Jacobs. I don't think that that's a crazy pick either. Derrick Henry, not a guy I love, but he's also the type of guy where if the last little portion of last season was real and you are severely underweight on him, you're going to be in a world of hurt. I think my Derrick Henry percentage is like 3, so I want to at least get that up to, around 8. And my Leonard Fournette is similar. I'm not as much worried about getting Fournette. So I picked Henry here, but Philip Lindsay at the 3-9. Philip Lindsay is just someone I have like absolutely zero interest at where he's going. One season coming off an injury, coaching change, Royce Freeman there. That season was super impressive, and I don't necessarily think he's a bad player. I definitely think he's a good player, but the offense is going to be horrific. I don't get it with Philip Lindsay. To me, he's like a round 5 guy. So I will not ever be taking this high. So injuries matter quite a bit more in best ball. And I say that because A.J. Green's coming up as being a possible pick on the board. For me, I'm not taking A.J. Green over Stephon Diggs. I'm not taking A.J. Green over Julian Edelman. I would probably take Galladay over him, but I could definitely see, like, if you don't believe in Galladay, you don't need to be doing that. I would have taken A.J. Green over Brandon Cooks, just because Cooks just doesn't score that many touchdowns. So who did we take around through there? We took Derrick Henry. My running back bye weeks are 12 and 11. My wide receiver Juju's week 7. Coming up in a couple picks here. David Montgomery keeps creeping up the boards. I used to be hammering him in round 5, and now that's just like super difficult to get. Definitely have some interest in Galladay if he makes it to me. I'm probably going to jump to David Montgomery if he's not taken, just because like there's so many wide receivers I'm fine with, and there's like no running backs that I want. So Cooks I'm fine with, Galladay I'm fine with, Woods I'm fine with, Watkins I'm fine with, Kupp I'm not fine with because of the injury, Lockett I'm fine with, Mike Williams I'm fine with, Calvin Ridley I like a lot, so I'm just going to take David Montgomery. He's the only running back in this range that I really like. I think Montgomery is in a very good position. Tariq Cohen will still do his thing, but that's fine. Jordan Howard still finished as a top 20 running back, being not able to do anything. So we'll see what kind of wide receiver we get here in round 5, having passed over a bunch of good choices. If I went wide receiver there, for me it would have been Kenny Golladay, but Godwin and Cooks went before Golladay. But Godwin went before my pick. Sammy Watkins. I hate Sammy Watkins more than any human being that I've never met in my life. He's screwed me so many times in fantasy football, it's unreal. That said, he's got a great opportunity this year. Yada yada. I feel like we've heard that a million times. He's another guy that I'm basically like Derrick Henry. I'm going to have 8% of him to 12% of him be as I have to in case he stays healthy. Then I'm going to be sad when he gets hurt. Cooper Kupp in the 4th round is absolutely ridiculous. Like, might not be ready for week 1. You are actually just drafting him where he should be drafted if he was healthy. Like, how many guys would he go ahead of that he went behind if he was healthy? A few, but you're basically paying for him full price for a guy that you don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1. All the Rams wide receivers off the board and 6 picks there. That's pretty interesting. So we're kind of hoping that Lockett, Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley makes it to us. If not, we might jump down and snatch a tight end. Let's try to pull my roster up here. There we go. With our no bye weeks on it. So, looks like I'm probably taking Mike Williams or Calvin Ridley here. Gonna go with Mike Williams. I like that touchdown upside. DJ Moore is like another nice choice there. But Cam Newton scares me. Cam Newton is not a quarterback that I will own if I only own two quarterbacks. Neither is Carson Wentz. Neither is Deshaun Watson. Neither is Jimmy Garoppolo. It just puts you in such a bad spot if you only have 2 quarterbacks and one goes down. When you have like 1 quarterback and your opponents have 3, you just better have Pat Mahomes be that 1 quarterback or Aaron Rodgers. Even Aaron Rodgers, I mean, playing in that division with the Bears sometimes has games that are not good. And quarterback is still, like, even though it's lower scoring, it's still the highest scoring position on average. So if you start taking hits there, it really, really hurts you. I'd much rather take the hits at tight end, where, like, the average is 9 or 11 points as opposed to 20. So in round 6, definitely all depends on who we're looking at, because this is the round I like to take Darrell Henderson so that I do not get sniped on him. But there's certain guys that I will not take him over. Like, I don't know, of this list, if DJ Moore was there, I would not consider taking him over DJ Moore. Probably take him over anyone else. I like O.J. Howard, but Jared Cook just went before O.J. Howard. Hunter Henry. Eric Ebron, but he's dealing with the groin, so that makes sense. Wow, whoever's getting DJ Moore at this pick is getting lucky. We're like deep into round 6 here. Okay, not deep, 2 picks. But we're into round 6 and DJ Moore's on the board. pretty ridiculous. Wow, guys. Oh, I'm gonna get sniped here. Oh, that's so fucking brutal. So brutal. So we're looking at Hunter Henry, Ebron. I could roll the dice on Henderson making it back to me this time. Not gonna. Love me some Darrell Henderson. Give me all the shares. I do not think that Todd Gurley even has to be injured for payoff his 6th-round pick. I think even if he just fills a Kamara-like role in that offense with his skill set, that he's going to pay off your 6th-round pick with no Todd Gurley injury. And if Todd Gurley does get hurt, whew. Sorry about that. Oh my god, this thing. Awful. Love playing on your site. Your site blows for desktop draft. Terrible. So Tevin Coleman's starting to sneak up there. He was the guy I was definitely getting higher on now. Sean Watson off the board. Semi-interested in a tight end if it's Vance McDonald or Eric Ebron. His groin has me a little freaked out with Ebron, but Will Fuller, huh? Tyler Boyd and Alshon Jeffrey are fine picks. Aaron Rodgers would be wonderful in this round. The QB values you get later, though, are just crazy. Rashad Penny with the situation going on with Chris Carson's injury. It's getting more interesting to me, too. Boyd off the board. The reason why your bye weeks matter so much in this is because you can't fix any of your problems midstream. In seasonal leagues, we've been conditioned anybody that's good at fantasy football to just not even worry about it at all. You know you're going to make trades. You know you're going to use waivers. I'm constantly making 3-for-2s and 2-for-1s so that I can scoop guys off waivers. Where I'll give up 3 guys, I'll get 2 guys, but I'll get the 2 best guys in the trade, and then I'll scoop people off waivers. This would be just absurd to not take Eric Ebron here. Even with the groin problem at this point, this is just so much value. If he wasn't here, I'd probably take Aaron Rodgers, but tight end is just such a wasteland. And I'm not even big on Ebron. I've been passing him. I think he's gonna have less touchdowns, but just getting him as basically the last tight end one is sure. I'm taking that. I trust Njoku 0. So I think that was a really good spot. I definitely like that Rashad Penny pick, the pick before me. I would have been tempted to go Rashad Penny if he was still on the board. That also would have been my 5th running back already, which could be fine. A lot of times I'm trying to get 7 wide receivers, right? So I'm going to cut down on one spot, and having Melvin Gordon, Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, Darrell Henderson, and if I was to have picked up Penny, I probably just would be done at running back. But I'm going to try to grab, I'll probably try to go 7 wide receivers this time, since with Ebron, I'm not going to be super comfortable going 2 tight ends, and all the big quarterbacks are off the board. Sometimes we'll just go 2 quarterbacks anyway if I'm getting 2 guys that I don't think will get hurt. So, say I'm going Breeze Brady or something similar to that, then I'm only going to take 2 quarterbacks. But if I want a big upside guy, to try and battle with, missing out on the top tier guys, then I'm probably going to go with Wentz or a Newton. And if I'm going with a Wentz or a Newton, then I'm going to have 3 quarterbacks on my team. Interesting. Christian Kirk went before Dante Pettis. I don't hate it, but Marvin Jones being on the board still I like. McCole Hardman, don't know what to think of him. I do think McCole Hardman's specifically dynasty rating is like way too high because I have no idea what's happening with Tyreek Hill. So this is a problem with Hardman in dynasty. Yeah, he might be the best rookie wide receiver this year, but what if Tyreek Hill gets suspended for the season and the Chiefs don't cut him? And then for the next 5 years, you have McCole Hardman stuck behind Tyreek Hill? Like, he wouldn't be stuck behind him because he might still see the field and stuff, but, like, he's not going to be, like, great. Might be, like, decent. So here, we're hoping Dante Pettis drops to us. If not, then we got to make decisions. Might be a Carlos Hyde share for me. I have, like, very, very little Carlos Hyde, so it will not be. Dante Pettis did drop to us, so that's who we're taking. So our wide receiver bye weeks are 7, 12, and 4. Running back 12, 11, 6, 9. Tight end week 6. Keep in mind our tight end is Eric Ebron, who already has a little bit going on with injuries, so we're probably going to want 3 tight ends. So we're either going to go 2 to 3 quarterbacks and either 5 or 6 running backs so that we can get our 7th wide receiver. Very happy getting Pettis where I got him. Next pick, we're going to be looking at possibly snatching up a quarterback or Carlos Hyde, who just won. I just cannot get Carlos Hyde. There's just always people I like too much to be in the hope and dream category with Hyde. Starting off as a backup, so. But, man, if he gets that job, it'll be nice. Whether by injury or Damian Williams just not performing, he has a few paths to it. So there's a bunch of wide receivers on the board that I think are all like, this is basically like a huge tier for me of wide receivers. That does not include Emmanuel Sanders, so I will not be taking him. But, wow, Wentz going before Russell Wilson. Definitely has the upside, but that injury history. So we're hoping Russell Wilson doesn't get taken here, so that's who we're taking if he is available. Nice. Gimme. So another really important thing you want to think about is stacking when you're doing best ball. Stacking in best ball is like even bigger than stacking in seasonal leagues. And you get to stack a little differently in best ball too, right? Because you can't always get, like Breeze and Michael Thomas or Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett because you're taking quarterbacks late and like you're not really looking to force things. So I like to think about guys I might take super late to stack with Russell Wilson. So now that I have Russell Wilson, guys I'm going to target for my last 2 rounds are going to be David Moore at wide receiver and Will Dissly as my 3rd tight end. Because when these quarterbacks have their huge blow-up games that really, really help you in best ball, oftentimes, yes, like the main targets are going off, but that's not what causes huge blow-up games. What causes the huge blow-up games is when the ancillary pieces also go off, or at least start to like contribute a lot. So in round 17, now that I have Russell Wilson, I'm going to be looking to pick up David Moore as my 7th wide receiver and Will Dissly as my 3rd tight end. Sorry about the beginning of this video being pretty rough, boys. It's my first time doing one of these. Camera was not in the best place, but next one will be better. So let's take a look at our team now. I'm not going to be looking at another tight end for quite a while. especially since I know who I'm going to be taking as my third tight end. Well, you never know. No, like Disley could get snatched before the last round. I mean, that happens, but I'm not gonna like reach for him just to have that stack. But it's in my mind that is the plan. The plan can just end up being like take a different tight end at that point. That's fine. So we got a few picks up to us. Chris Herndon, my Chris Herndon ownership percentage is embarrassingly high, and I don't like him this year. And there's just so many times I've been picking in this spot, and I've not liked anyone, so I've taken him. And yeah, that's not a good thing to do. So needless to say, we'll just not be taking Chris Herndon. I'm just gonna take it anyway. So that's nice. So Tyreek, he's off my board. Kareem Hunt's off my board. There's just too many games to be missing. Like, in best ball, you do get, like, all your best performers. So your 0, you don't ever have to worry about. But, like, every one of your guys plays every week, essentially. So, like, having no guy for 8 weeks is just not something I'm interested in. Wow, that was rough. Could take Ito here. Take Big Ben and try to pair him with James Washington. I love this pick. I'm going to take Ito. I'm not real big on Freeman staying healthy, so. So I feel pretty good about our running back situation. Remember when we have to have 2 healthy per week. Not completely closed off to the idea of taking another running back. Still go with 2 quarterbacks if you want to. Russell Wilson's actually never missed a game in his career despite being a running quarterback. I'm glad, when I said I was thinking of picking Big Ben, yeah, I was really only interested in doing it if it meant I was going to get James Washington on the comeback, and I started thinking, I might not get James Washington on the comeback. So, there's that. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are definitely guys that I am not interested in having as parts of only 2 quarterbacks. Jared Goff would be. Big Ben, I would be fine with only having 2 quarterbacks. The amount Allen and Jackson run, I don't want to only have 2 quarterbacks having those guys. Phillip Rivers is a guy I'm comfortable with. Dak is a guy I'm not as comfortable with. Same with Mitch. They run a lot. More injuries happen to those type of guys. Kirk Cousins is like a guy I feel pretty safe with. Brady's a guy I feel pretty safe with as far as injuries go if I only want to have 2 quarterbacks. Which we might be painting ourselves into that corner in a second here. We will not be. Peyton Barber just went. And if I was going to take another running back there, it would have been Peyton Barber. Kyle Rudolph at the 11-1. Don't hate it. Won't be taking a tight end ourselves for quite a while. The thing I like about Ito is he's going to have his passing. He's going to be catching some passes and having some goal line. And Devonta Freeman breaks every other second, so. Still got Winston, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Kirk Cousins, Trubisky, Dak. Tons of quarterbacks on the board. There just isn't too much I like in the wide receiver. We're all desperate for wide receivers, but this is definitely going to be a 7 wide receiver team. It has to be, so. Well, I think I'm just going to take Ben because I have less concerns over him getting hurt than these other guys, and I might want to go 2 quarterbacks here, so. There's just a ton of wide receivers I have no interest in here. I'm not taking Tyreek. I'm not taking Emmanuel Sanders. There's so many quarterbacks still on the board, so it sucks to take a guy there. But there's like a lot of them that I don't feel that safe with. So our wide receivers that we want to start taking a look at here, we only have 3, which is extremely low for this point in the draft. I usually would say I usually have about 5 right now. That's just not the way that this draft has worked out. Oh, there goes Sanders. That poor bastard. I have less than 0 interest in Sanders. So occasionally, because of position scarcity, people will leave quarterbacks too much. And even if you plan on only having 2, right now I don't have any double wide receiver bye weeks. So I can probably piece together my wide receiver core and only go with 6. I only ever go with 6 if all are different bye weeks. Like if I have 2 wide receivers that are the same bye week, then I'm going 7. But sometimes you can snatch a huge positional advantage at quarterback if too many people are waiting, right? So like if too many people are waiting, then like their 2 to 3 quarterbacks are going to be too weak. And you can really smash them by having 3 of like tier 2 or low tier 1 quarterbacks. My Tyrell Williams ownership is pretty low. So I have a little interest in him, a little interest in Traquan, a little interest in Michael Gallup, John Brown, Anthony Miller, basically this entire group, and Kenny Stills, Deshaun Hamilton. Getting 2 of like any of this grouping of wide receivers would make me happy. But at the same time, if Dak Prescott just like keeps not getting taken, I might take him at some point. He was the QB3 after they got Amari Cooper last year. So like Cooper, Dak Prescott stacks. I have tons and tons of them. That's good. I'm glad somebody took him so that we don't really have to think about it. So I'm going to take Gallup here over Traquan. Even as a Saints fan, the Saints are just going to go, it's just too much, like, first Michael Thomas, second Kamara, third Latavius Murray, fourth Jared Cook, probably. There's just going to be too many games where Traquan Smith is not really involved. But I hope that they get him more involved this year because the talent is definitely there. So with Ben and Russell Wilson, I don't think that we need to take another quarterback, especially now that Dak is off the board, who just shouldn't have been lasting as long as he was. So we can really start hammering some wide receivers, and we also can consider picking up another running back now. So pretty sure we're going to go with 6 running backs. Interesting that Kalen Ballage is still on the board. He's been going a bit earlier. He's one of my most owned people, Kalen Ballage. I have like literally almost 50% of him, but it's because for a while he was going in round 15. And like in round 15, I was just like, Kalen Ballage. Every time. So with Ballage off the board, I'm almost for sure taking a wide receiver. Here goes Traquan. That's so fine to me. I like a bunch of these guys. I'm fine with John Brown. I'm fine with Anthony Miller. I'm fine with Kenny Stills. Deshaun Hamilton was one of the guys that's actually who I would have taken Deshaun Hamilton if he didn't go there. So we're going to take Anthony Miller. This guy scored a ton of touchdowns his rookie year. Gives us a nice bye week of 6 that doesn't compete with any of our other guys. Seven TDs on only 59 targets is very nice. Great pick by Feld there, getting Mark Andrews. He's another guy I have actually north of 50% of Mark Andrews somehow. I have like 52% of him. So I've just taken him a ton as like my second, third tight end, but I've usually taken him also between rounds 13 to 15. I think I even took him in like round 16 or 17 once as my third tight end when I didn't really want to take three tight ends, but he just like there was no reason for him to still be available. So now we've got 5 wide receivers, we've got 5 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 quarterbacks. I have a plan on who my last 2 picks will be, which will be 1 wide receiver and 1 tight end. So I might look at another RB when it comes back to us. Might be overreacting to this Ebron groin thing a bit by like really feeling like I need 3 tight ends if I'm taking him, but Justice Hill just went. That's the guy I was thinking about as my next running back. Boy, the boys have been on the ball with running backs in this draft, I'll say that. There's a lot of running backs that drop routinely that have not been dropping in this one. I'm taking John Brown or Kenny Stills at this pick because I think they're much better than the rest of the players on the board. So we will not be taking running back this pick. If I take Kenny Stills, I have no competing bye weeks, and my John Brown ownership is definitely higher than my Kenny Stills ownership, so I'm going to take Kenny Stills. All right. What Christ is left for running backs? Definitely have some interest in C.J. Anderson. Could go for one of the deeper RBs, like Alexander Madison, who I think is going to have a role weekly with the Vikings and also plays with the extremely breakable man named Dalvin Cook. So a lot of people would be like, man, why didn't you take like Deebo Samuel over John Brown or Kenny Stills? Like, I just don't know what the situation is. Like, so many rookie wide receivers end up being bad, and I actually do have a decent amount of Deebo Samuel because when rookie drafts very, very first started, he was just like not a guy that was considered. So I don't need ownership percentage wise anymore Deebo, and the fact that he's a rookie wide receiver, like this would be a great spot to come. Like you're getting around 14, 15. But generally, he's been going higher than this. So like any tight ends that we actually want. Yeah. Not so much. I don't think that Rudolph to New England trade is going to happen now, so that opens up a little bit of space as far as that goes. If John Brown just like doesn't get taken again, we might poop on our plans of getting David Moore. Andy Isabella is a guy I like really love. Thank you, Mayor Makeshift. But I did not want to have to poop on my plan, but I was willing to. We might just snatch David Moore here so that we don't get skanked on him. Like, for me, he's in the same range with Deebo and Isabella. Could take C.J. Anderson here. I just don't want to miss out on my plan. So we're going to take David Moore. Like, I'm just Tyreek Hill, so I'm just not drafting him. I have 0% ownership. We'll have 0% ownership. Don't think he's going to play this year. If he does play, he's going to be out for 8 games. If you pick him in round 15 and he misses 8 games, you are in good shape. You are in good shape. I just don't think that he's even going to play that many games. I think that he's just flat going to be out of there. Debo being available this late is just fantastic for whoever ends up with him. Same with Isabella. Those are two of my top wide receivers as far as for this season. The tight ends are going. We're not really super worried about that. We're fairly certain who one of our two tight ends that we're going to take is. We could even decide to stick to two tight ends if we want to. So there was like a brief period of time where I snatched up like a couple shares of Irv Smith when the Kyle Rudolph rumors were going, and I took him in the last round. But now that the Kyle Rudolph rumors seem to be gone, and that he's going to re-sign with Minnesota on an extension, that means that I will be taking no more Irv Smith. As far as the wide receiver still on the board, if I was going to pick a wide receiver, which I am not going to, I love Albert Wilson. Big playability, perfect for best ball. You could say the same about Marquise Goodwin, but I'm not sure that Marquise Goodwin is even going to be in the regular rotation for the 49ers, so he's a stay away from me. If you could guarantee me he was going to be in the rotation, I would feel pretty similar to Albert Wilson with him. A.J. Brown, I think, could have a sneaky decent year. He's a guy I do not mind owning as my last wide receiver in best ball. Running back's getting pretty, beaten up here. Lots of many guys. I don't draft Malcolm Brown when I draft Darrell Henderson. And also, I already have 2 bye week 9 guys, so that's going to cut Malcolm Brown out, cut Gio out. So at this point, I'm picking between Reichel Armstead and Alexander Madison, and I'm going to go with Madison. The reason why I'm going with Madison is because I don't think he needs an injury. I think he can just be involved. Period. I think that he will play a role with Dalvin Cook, and it could be goal line action. And Reichel Armstead definitely has a higher upside for sure. But if somehow Leonard Fournette stays healthy and plays through his injuries like he likes to do, then UND poop. Because you're getting flat zeros there. Yeah. Ricky Seals-Jones is a guy I have almost no shares of, but I feel like I probably shouldn't have almost no shares of. He's just reeked so bad last year. So bad. It's hard to own him. I do like Ian Thomas quite a bit. Greg Olsen, it seems like he's been injury prone, but when you go back and look at his history, it's really not the case. It's just been a couple recently, but I don't know. I just don't trust Greg Olsen to stay healthy at all. So if we take Ian Thomas here, I still think we have a very good shot of getting Will Dissly. He's just a guy that goes undrafted a lot. We're not going to take Irv. We're not taking Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Ben Watson's a guy I don't mind. Witten, if they stick to what they're saying of him playing only 25% of the snaps, you can't have him. Gerald Everett and Ricky Seals-Jones are post-type sleepers a bit. They both, everyone thought, man, maybe these guys can come in and do something. Those guys instead shit their pants, and now nobody wants them at all. Ian Thomas is a little sketch. Just if Greg Olsen does stay healthy, then he's just so useless. Gerald Everett off the board. I might reach for Dissly here just to get my combo like I did around early on David Moore. So for bye weeks, QBs, we've got 11-7. Running backs, we've got 12-11-6, 9-9-12. We've got a couple doubles. I'm going to take Thomas and gamble. Gamble that Dissly makes it back to me. I just feel like Thomas has a lot more upside than any of the guys. Than even a Seals if he was to actually not poop his pants. So for wide receivers, we've got bye week 7, 12, 4, 8, 6, 5, 11. No competing bye weeks with 7 wide receivers. That's fantastic. That's not something you really need to be worried about, though. The only time I made a decision this draft based on bye week was John Brown versus Kenny Stills, and I was more making that decision because of my ownership percentages of them than I was because of the bye weeks. I mean, it would be fun. Having 2 guys the same bye week is not a big deal. You really should not have 3. That's when it is a big deal. And you don't want to have too many weeks where you have 2. So you don't want to have 6 wide receivers where it's 2 have the same bye week, 2 have the same bye week, and 2 have the same bye week. That is a problem. So here we're just kind of hoping Will Dissly falls to us, but if not, I would probably take Ben Watson or maybe my Ricky Seals-Jones. Darren Waller, Oakland, huh? Don't know why he's showing up there. Pretty sure he's a blocking tight end, and that Wilson is going to be the pass-catching tight end. Should be interesting to see what happens with tight ends in Oakland because Gruden tends to like them a lot, but he doesn't really have any to work with. And now they have Antonio Brown and Tyrell Renfro in the slot. There goes Malcolm Brown. This pick of Gus Edwards before Malcolm Brown, that hurts me. Oh, well, it's the same guy picking both of them, so that hurts me lots. So it's essentially, you could have just taken them in any order. Gus Edwards is not a guy I own any of. I'm interested in Mark Ingram. I'm interested in Justice Hill. I think Justice Hill could have a very Tariq Cohen type of a role in season. Rosen, Keelan Cole. I like Keelan Cole even less than I like DJ Chark. I feel like the team's just gonna have to find out what it has with Chark this year, so he's gonna get to play. And maybe he just stinks. That's for sure possible. Josh Gordon, there's a empty roster spot. If he plays this year, I'll be shocked. If he plays 1 game this year, I'll be shocked. If he plays 1 game again, I'll be shocked. Austin Severus-Jenkins probably could catch some TDs in New England as the secondary tight end. There he goes. I would take Ben Watson over him, though. The catches will be there, and I think Watson probably ends up with 4 touchdowns. Jenkins probably ends up with 6, and that's their tight end combo. But I think that he'll have more catches and yards. So we're going to take Will Dissly as our other stacking piece there. So we would have liked to stack pieces with both of our quarterbacks, but at the point we took Ben Roethlisberger, it didn't make any sense. Vance was already gone. Juju, oh shit, Juju's on our team. Well, there, I stacked without even thinking about it. So nice, we've got Juju, Ben stack, and we've got Russell Wilson, David Moore, Will Dissly stack going. All right, well, hopefully the next one of these videos is better for you guys, so have a good one.